Imagine a world without antibiotics, a world where a simple cough could be a death sentence. That was the reality for people in 15th and 16th century England. Suddenly, a new terror gripped the land, the sweating sickness. This wasn't a gradual illness. It struck swiftly and silently. The year was 1485. England was still recovering from the War of the Roses. People were hopeful for a brighter future under their new king, Henry VII. But their hopes were soon dashed. A strange new illness appeared. It seemed to come from nowhere. People were healthy one day and dead the next. The sweating sickness, as it became known, was a terrifying mystery. It spread like wildfire through crowded towns and villages. No one was safe. It was a time of great fear and uncertainty. Doctors were baffled. They had never seen anything like it. What caused this deadly disease? And how could it be stopped? The sweating sickness didn't just appear once and disappear. It returned again and again, casting a long shadow over England. Each outbreak brought a fresh wave of terror and death. After its initial appearance in 1485, the sweating sickness returned with a vengeance in 1508, 1517, and 1528. Each outbreak followed a similar pattern, appearing suddenly and spreading rapidly. The disease seemed to vanish just as quickly, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. The 1517 outbreak was particularly devastating. It ripped through London, killing thousands. Even King Henry VIII's court wasn't spared. The king fled to the countryside in fear, desperate to escape the invisible killer. The last major outbreak occurred in 1551. After that, the sweating sickness mysteriously vanished. It has never been seen again, but its memory lingered, a stark reminder of the vulnerability of human life. The sweating sickness was terrifying because of its speed and the severity of its symptoms. It was like a deadly dance, claiming its victims within hours. Imagine feeling perfectly fine one moment, and then suddenly being gripped by a fever so intense it felt like your blood was boiling. That was the first sign of the sweat. Next came the agonizing headaches, dizziness, and excruciating pain in the neck, shoulders, and limbs. But the most terrifying symptom was the relentless sweating. Victims would be drenched in sweat, their clothes soaked through. It was as if their bodies were trying to expel the illness, but to no avail. The entire ordeal, from the first symptom to death, could be over in just a few hours. In some cases, people collapsed and died within minutes of feeling ill. The sweating sickness was a swift and merciless killer. The sweating sickness remains an enigma, a medical mystery that continues to baffle experts centuries later. Despite numerous theories, the exact cause of this deadly disease remains unknown. Some believe it was a particularly virulent strain of influenza. Others suspect a hantavirus spread by rodents. The unsanitary conditions of the time certainly provided ample breeding ground for disease-carrying pests. Another theory points to an unknown waterborne bacteria. Still, others believe it was typhus spread through lice and fleas. However, none of these theories fully explain the unique characteristics of the sweating sickness, such as its sudden appearance and disappearance, and its preference for certain demographics. The sweating sickness remains a medical puzzle, a chilling reminder of the invisible threats that can emerge from the shadows, challenging our understanding of disease and our ability to combat it. Imagine living in a time when a simple cough could send chills down your spine. The sweating sickness wasn't just a physical affliction, it was a psychological tormentor, gripping society in a vice of fear. The unpredictable nature of the outbreaks fueled paranoia, People were terrified to leave their homes, fearing contact with an infected person. Trade and commerce suffered as markets stood empty and businesses shuttered. Religious processions, once vibrant displays of faith, became somber marches of desperation as people begged for divine intervention. The fear was palpable, as real as the sweat itself. The sweating sickness exposed the fragility of life and the limits of human control. It was a stark reminder that even in the face of an invisible enemy, fear could be just as contagious and just as deadly. The sweating sickness wasn't just a health crisis. It was an economic and social earthquake, shaking the very foundations of English society. Its impact extended far beyond the immediate death toll. The rapid spread of the disease decimated the workforce. With so many dead fields lay fallow and workshops stood silent, the economy sputtered and the fragile social order began to crumble. The deaths of skilled artisans and laborers led to labor shortages and wage inflation. The wealthy, desperate to protect themselves, fled to the countryside, leaving the poor to fend for themselves. The sweating sickness exposed the deep inequalities of the time. It was a stark reminder that disease, like poverty, often preyed on the most vulnerable, leaving a legacy of suffering and hardship in its wake. The sweating sickness didn't discriminate. It claimed the lives of rich and poor alike, leaving a trail of grief and despair in its wake. Some of its victims were prominent figures, their deaths sending shockwaves through the kingdom. Among the most notable victims was Prince Arthur and the elder brother of King Henry VIII. Arthur's death in 1502, at the tender age of 15, had significant political ramifications, paving the way for Henry VIII's ascension to the throne and his subsequent marriage to Catherine of Aragon. Another prominent victim was Anne Boleyn, the second wife of Henry VIII. While some historians debate the cause of her death, some believe the sweating sickness may have played a role, weakening her already fragile health. These high-profile deaths highlighted the indiscriminate nature of the sweating sickness, a grim reminder that even power and privilege offered no protection from its deadly grasp. The sweating sickness may have vanished centuries ago, but it remains a subject of intense fascination for medical historians and scientists. Its sudden disappearance, coupled with the lack of a definitive cause, continues to fuel speculation and research. Modern scientists, armed with advanced technology and a deeper understanding of diseases, have attempted to piece together the puzzle of the sweating sickness. They've analyzed historical accounts, studied skeletal remains, and even searched for traces of the disease in ancient DNA. While these investigations have yielded some intriguing clues, the sweating sickness continues to elude a definitive explanation. It remains a chilling example of how quickly and completely a disease can vanish, taking its secrets to the grave. The mystery of the sweating sickness serves as a stark reminder of the ever-present threat of emerging infectious diseases and the importance of ongoing research and preparedness. The sweating sickness may be a relic of the past, a ghost story from a bygone era, but its echoes resonate even today. It offers valuable lessons about the importance of public health, the interconnectedness of human society, and the need for humility in the face of nature's power. The rapid spread of the sweating sickness highlighted the crucial role of sanitation and hygiene in preventing disease outbreaks. It underscored the importance of public health measures, such as quarantine and isolation, in containing the spread of infectious diseases. Though centuries have passed, the story of the sweating sickness serves as a stark reminder that we are not immune to the threat of pandemics. It highlights the importance of global cooperation, scientific advancement, and a shared responsibility for protecting human health. The Sweating Sickness, though a tragic chapter in human history, offers valuable insights that can help us navigate the challenges of a world grappling with the constant threat of emerging infectious diseases. It is a reminder that the past can be a powerful teacher, guiding us towards a healthier and more resilient future.